Hey everybody, what's up? This is Kalen from White Glove Models, and today I'm actually going to be designing and building a paint booth. So I'm going to start out by drawing it out, and you guys will get to see the plan, and then we'll go to the shop and build it from there. So today I'm going to drop the plans for the paint booth. And I have a general idea of what I want. I had kind of measured everything, and for the table that I'm going to be using it on, the best fit is about 2 feet tall, so I have a better viewing angle. If it's any shorter than that, I kind of would hit my head on the top of it every time I would hit it. So we're going to go ahead and make this 2 feet. So basically 1 inch equals a foot in my math here. And then I want the length to be 2.5 feet. So there's my half, and then 1 and 2. So I'll go ahead and mark that. Then again, we have, I'll move this up here. We have 2 feet in height. And finish off the top. And then on the back here, I'm gonna draw a guideline. So this is 2 feet. So at 1 foot, which is where it's going to be 1 foot high in the rear, I'm just going to go through here and kind of show that on my drawing. So that way I have some kind of a reference. And then over here I will draw the side view, because I'm going to have to make certain cuts in the plywood to make it the design that I have chosen. So the front of it, we'll do this side as the front is obviously 2 feet. Then the depth is going to be 2 feet as well. This is hard doing it when I can't see the lines. Doing the best we can here. So there's my 2 foot depth, and then the back of the unit will be at its highest is 1 foot. And then at the top here, I'm going to have another piece of plywood that comes out 6 inches. So we'll mark that there. So that's part of the hood. And then this section on the back for the fan unit will also be 6 inches in depth, and it will also contain the filter before the fan. And then here we'll just connect these, and I will have a piece of plywood covering this section. So here you have this is the side view of the paint booth. This will be the top, and the back of it will angle down to a 1 foot depth for a box that will essentially contain a fan here in the rear to an exhaust fan blowing out, and then the filters will actually be held in by things on the little strips of plywood on the side that will, and the top, and it will hold it in place. You'll see it when I'm building it, what I mean. So this is essentially the design that I need to cut out in plywood, and this is the front view, I guess you would say, of the actual box itself. So it is 2.5 feet in width, 2 feet in height at the very front, and then these are 6 inches, 2 feet, 2 feet, 1 foot, 6 foot, and then the piece of ply that we will be using for this section, I will measure it out once I have this shape designed. So I could probably figure it out now, but I'm not gonna waste my time. So essentially what I have is I have a few sheets of plywood and then some really thin press board that has a really nice black and white finish on, so it's black on one end and white on the back side. And I'm going to be using that just to make this a little bit lighter and more portable. So we'll start with the plywood that I need to cut, and the sheet of plywood is, so I have 2 pieces of this, and the first one, well, they're both the same size. So the sheets of plywood are 2 feet by 4 feet. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Another 4 foot section here. And what I will be doing with the first sheet of plywood is I'm going to cut it in half. So there's half. So we'll be cutting this sheet of plywood in half right here. And then I will cut it into its shapes. So we have 6 inches here, 6 inches on this side, and then if you remember on the back section, oops, I already messed up, so 6 inches here, and then on the back side it will be coming up to 1 foot. Oh, so we'll go ahead and make that 6 inch, because remember from my design up here, this piece of plywood for the side will have a 6 inch section here where it falls into our riser right here. So then essentially what I'll be doing is, let me do this, I can see better. What essentially we'll be doing is cutting this angle here to here. Oh, there goes my lead. This section will no longer be there, that'll be scrap. And then this one, we come up to 1 foot, come out 6 inches. And then we make our angle. And this piece is scrap. Then what I have over on this side, we will draw the other pieces of, I don't know what you would call it, it's kind of a very thick, like say it's thicker than an 8th. It's probably, I don't know. Anyways, it's a sheet of plywood, but it's pressed board, and it's got a black layer on one side and a white layer on the other side. You'll see it when I'm cutting it. But essentially I have 2 of those pieces, and I'm going to use those for the back here and also for the base of the paint booth, just because they're lighter, and I think it's going to work really well. So those pieces are 3 feet. So 3 feet by 2 feet. That's the top, and then do the bottom one here just to make sure that it's right. So this is 2 feet. And then do the side here. So knowing that I want the depth at 2 feet, so this is already at 2 feet, and then I want the width at 2.5. So I'm going to have to cut off 6 inches from this board to make my bottom piece. So this will be essentially scrap. Hopefully we'll find a use for that. 2.5 feet, 2 feet, and this is the bottom of our paint booth. So now I have another sheet of plywood that is 2 feet by 4 feet. So let's get the 4 feet. So there's 4 feet. By 2 feet, and these sections will be for the top. And so I will have to cut this board down to 2.5, which is right here. So I'll just strip this board all the way down to 2.5. And then I need 2 6-inch sections, one for right here and one for right here. So we know that that's 6 inches, so I'm going to go ahead and make the mark for that. I will cut this board right there at 6 inches, and then I will cut another board at 6 inches, and then we will have a foot of section here, which will be for the very back side. Now I know I'm going to lose some of the board length when I'm cutting through it, but I'm hoping that these, if I cut these a little bit shy of 6 inches, this will be exactly 1 foot, because I really need this area right here to be roughly a foot. So anyways, so this will be the very top, and then lower top, which is right here and there, and then this will be the back of the unit right here. So then the spare, so like I said, I have 2 of these thinner boards, so this one will be for the bottom. So once I have it kind of roughly assembled, then this area back here I can cut from the second piece of the thinner wood that I have, and that way I'll be able to get a very accurate measurement. And I've been toying with the idea of having that section either permanent or removable, but I don't really see a reason for that, because where my filter is going to be, which will be back up against these right here, these little strips that I will be putting in to hold it in place, the filter will be easily accessed from the front, and I shouldn't have to worry about accessing back here. And if I ever do need to get to the fan or anything like that, I can just take the filter out and I will have access to the back of the box where the filter is. So there you go. That is the design that we are going to work with, and we will start cutting it out and getting it ready. Alright, so I have sanded everything down. Let's see if I can back this out a little bit. So there's the box pretty much ready to go. I already sanded everything down, so there shouldn't be any splinters or anything, hopefully. I was going to paint it, but I think I changed my mind, because, I mean, what's the point? It's a paint booth. So I'm just going to clean it up a little bit and get all the dust off of it and take it inside and probably start painting. Might seal in a couple of these areas like here that have a gap, but other than that it's pretty much ready to start painting. So I can at least use it for now. So as soon as the fan assembly and the filter show up, then I will install all that, and I'll show you guys how I do that. So here you go. That is one almost completed paint booth. Okay, there we have it, the mostly completed paint booth. The only thing that is left to do is I need to add fans to the back area right here. I'm going to be adding 2 fans that will exhaust out and then through the little vent that I'll put in the window. And that'll be it. Those should be coming soon. I also have lights that will be coming, because right now I have, as you can see, I have a temporary light set up, and it's not really ideal, but it does the trick. So I'm just going to get a little more detail of the inside. I put this tape here because I am going to be running some silicone caulking along the outside on the top, as well as under this section here, to seal everything 100%. So basically the only air coming through the box is what is inside of it and around the around me while I'm painting, so it should exhaust pretty well. And it turned out way bigger than I originally anticipated, but it's going to work great. And it cost me less than $100, which was the cheapest paint booth I could find online. The cheapest paint booth, I can't remember who made it, but it was $100 even on Amazon, and it was tiny. It was maybe came to like roughly about right here, and it didn't go near as deep. It was only 18 inches or something like that. It was pretty small, but it did come with the hood and the fan and all that and the exhaust. But all said and done, when I am done with this build and have the fans installed, I will have spent less than $50. So even with the cost of lumber, I bought this, the actual lumber you see here, I bought that a couple years ago, so it's been sitting around, but it's really nice wood, and it's a paint booth. I was going to paint it, but why? It's a paint booth. It's going to get dirty and ugly on the inside, and frankly, it'll just give it more character. So there you go. So the first model that I'm actually going to break this case in with, or the paint booth in with, is the Pontiac GTO, the 1967 Pontiac GTO. And I cannot wait to get started. I'm going to practice a little bit. You guys should be able to see those videos once I get them done, of me kind of learning my new airbrush, which is right here. This is a Posh. You guys got to see me put it together. I think I'm pronouncing it right. I'm not sure. And then I just made some little hooks to hang some of the cleaning tools on. I thought about putting a shelf, maybe like across here. I don't know. I've never seen anybody do that, but you know, what do you guys think? Maybe I will. And then this area right here, I'm going to be putting in some, there you go, I'll be putting in some strips, and then the filters will actually go right here down to here, and they will be held in with some wood and then some clamps, so I can easily take them out and change them. So it's coming along really well, and there is the air compressor in the very back. See if you guys can see that. And pretty cool. Really pleased with how it turned out. So probably get its first break-in with paint later this week. I'm hoping to try to get at least get the parts for the Pontiac primed, but I really need to work with the brush a little bit and familiarize myself with it. So there you go. That is the completed paint booth. I hope you guys like it and like the video that I made of building it. Sadly, the tragic camera mishap happened while filming it, so you guys don't get to see the whole process.